grants offered by Tele-Education and Educational Technologies. This moldboard plow video module was designed to demonstrate the value of the moldboard plow on 2 continents to geography students.
Now, this plow's origins go back to 13th century Europe, and it is a design which is used throughout the Midwest to prepare the ground for planting. The 13th century plow had 3 basic parts. First, the coulter or knife. In this case, we have a vertical disc, rather like a pizza cutter. Secondly, there was the plowshare, which cuts horizontally. And thirdly, the moldboard, which turns the sod over on itself. As Bob plows, the coulter or knife cuts down vertically into the soil, which is then lifted and the nutrient layers are turned up onto the surface. This method of turning over heavy soils and bringing nutrients up to the surface was first discovered in the 13th century. It was the technical foundation of the medieval farm village. This type of plowing enabled them to expand and cultivate a much larger area. Most important, it enabled farmers in Northern Europe to cultivate the wet but fertile clay soils of the plains.
These animated sequences were designed to help calculus students visualize the graphic dimensions of various solids and to show the transformation of 2-dimensional objects into 3-dimensional objects. This opening sequence for a distance learning class introduces various religious symbols to the students in the classroom and at sites throughout the state. The overhead video camera allows this telecommunications teacher to show his entire class close-up details of a film camera.
As opposed to bayonet, like Aeroflex bayonets, these just screw on. Now, if we can, that's as far as you zoom in, right? Okay. We have 2 indicators. Obviously, this one up here is an indicator of focus. The first barrel is an indicator of focus. And sometimes this will vary with various lenses. Sometimes the focus is in the lower ring and the f-stop is in the upper ring. In this case, this is the, again, foot measurement for focus. Down below it is the f-stop indicator.
These graphics contrast the mean, median, and mode in statistical analysis.
Good day, Agent Shearluck, member of the Epi Force. On Monday, May 6th, several people were found to be ill in a small rural Indiana community. Their symptoms included gastroenteritis and other related stomach disorders. Your mission, Agent Luck, is to take on the role of the Assistant Health Officer. Unfortunately, your boss is out of town, and she usually investigates these outbreaks.
I have seen a war on land and sea. I have seen blood running from the wounded. I have seen men coughing out their gasped lungs. I have seen the dead in the mud.
These historical clips, showing expository and persuasive writing, allow English composition students to recognize and apply the features of this style to their own writing. This videotape visit to a small manufacturing company allows accounting students to explain the importance of the relevant range when analyzing cost behavior.
Is automotive related. We also work for the electrical industry, the plumbing industry, and a lot of job shop custom molders that's more or less in the same molding business as we are, only they specialize strictly in the molding part of the.
This video quiz was designed to help students identify computer components in a business education class. This depiction of interaction among adults will allow students to list and discuss the personality traits observed.
Oh, you guys don't want to play with me anyway, and I don't really want to play with you guys. I mean, you guys aren't any good, and you're going to lose, so, you know, just forget it. I don't want to play anymore. I'm not going to play.
Yeah.
Why does he act like that?
Well, wait a minute, you guys. I mean, that's not like Dan. There must be something wrong. I mean, he must be having problems at work or maybe even at home. He usually likes to play ball with us. And
I don't know. I think it's his midlife crisis thing.
These graphics were designed to show aspects related to the teaching profession. Architecture students must recognize various types of construction joints to renovate buildings. These pictures help architecture students match names of construction joints to their pictorial descriptions. This interactive video allows students to view various intercultural role-playing activities. It also answers questions in its interactive mode.
Defending him, and then he'll be fine.
Barry, he's a bum. He should have been a water boy. The only good arm is Tomzak.
Yeah, right. That's why Chicago traded him.
During this conversation, Tony kept moving closer to Barry. This is an example of A, kinesics, B, proxemics, or C, empathy. This video test for high school genetics allows students to identify the various parts of genes and get instant feedback on their answers. This on-camera demonstration of the Snelling eye test will allow nursing students to see what is explained in narrative form in the text.
The chart we're going to be using is a 10-feet chart. Quite often, all the charts to be used are 20 feet. Cover his eye with a card or a spoon so he won't be able to peek through the card. Do not use the hand. And also check the person to see that they are not squinting, as squinting improves vision.
Home economics students are helped to identify the major historical developments in the industrial movement. Interviewing healthcare experts for this nursing class allows students to hear the various views on establishing a home healthcare program.
Well, I think, Linda, you've put the nail on the head when you talk about a comprehensive health education program or just a comprehensive health program in the school. Because as you look at the nurse in the 3 different areas that you've identified, the health services, the health instruction, and the health environment, you can see that she would play a primary role in 2 of those and maybe a secondary role in another. In the health services area, obviously that involves dealing with a student perhaps through a health clinic or through checking on immunizations and dealing with sick children in the school and those sorts of things. And in that area, certainly the school nurse would be the one who would be the prime moving force in setting policy and dealing with administration and making sure that all the different requirements were met.
By using slow-motion video, physical education students will be able to see, identify, and understand the performance criteria for running. The following faculty were involved in grants that focused on course design rather than course production. Faculty development grants in the Tele-Education and educational technologies are conducted primarily during the summer, since that is when most faculty have time to devote to course design and course development. Yet the faculty development program goes on throughout the year as instructional designers, producer directors, and others work in teams with faculty to improve teaching in diverse classes.